want to update this about?
He did.
Alright, we're recording, so they could. Recording to the minutes.
You want to do the roll call first? You got roll call.
No, just call your name out.
Eugene Stubardo. David Sale.
You have two members today.
Two members. Do we have a quorum? Well, we're not really. Okay. Now I'm calling order at 6:40 p.m. May 22nd, 2024. Does anyone go through the minutes? So
We have to skip the motion today because.
well, quorum. Okay, well, that's sweet. All right, public comment. We have any people that want to get up and speak? Jerry?
So I have to go in front of the camera.
Yeah, you can do that, sir.
You can get from there.
Yeah. No, my public comment is, I'd like to thank the commissioner and her staff for the support of the Florida National Scenic Trail, the FTA here in Central Florida. To help the commissioner, we were able to get road signs on the county road so people would actually know where Charles H. Bronson State Forest is here in East Orange. Even the commissioner missed the turn the time she went to visit it, so I think everybody's missed the turn on Phillips Road to get back there. So hopefully, with the new county signs that point the direction, that tells you where to go, that the taxpayers and the visitors of Orange County will have a beautiful forest to go walking. Know where it's at.
Did you notice that they got the FMSP? Or did you get the okay? I haven't seen anything from DPD or.
No, yeah. You're good with Beth about
Beth is working on it. Last time I talked to her.
the aluminum shields that the FDA have. You've seen them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all over the state on state roads, county roads. I think I'm sure there's a sign requirement, wind, size, and all that stuff with materials made of.
Yeah.
But it's a standard sign that we have on state roads, interstates. So it's 12 inches. We'd like to put that underneath there to signify that the Florida Trail and Bronson are together in turn, right?
So the commissioner has started to push. Parks and Rec is aware of it. DPD is aware of it. I believe Beth currently is trying to find out officially of their official signs, but she was concerned they didn't have some type of signage on the back of them showing they're official. And she was going to reach out to the manager, who was Steven, and I provided her the actual contact. So we're just in a wait mode. Like Jody said, we have them on interstates. We have it wherever the trail crosses. We have a sign, just like the AT does, and all the other national scenic trails. So now notify the folks, hey, you're passing on scenic trail.
Yeah, this is. It's a bonus that put the FTA signs underneath the county signs for the forest. Also, I'm going to get with Stephen with the State Forest Service. We're going to try to push forward to get signage on Highway 50 there in Christmas. That's a Florida highway, so I'll go through FDOT and see if we can get one of their fancy forest signs out there. That they have. Yeah, I mean, it has a sign that says
close there, so we can't argue that.
So, well, overall, what we're trying to do is there's a lot of, everybody's talked about the urban sprawl in Orlando and the battles. We had the battle in Split Oak. There's a lot of, rural lands or public lands in East Orange County to make more aware of the population of it. They have these beautiful sections of public land, that they can go out and visit, bird watch, animal watch, there's trails. So the Florida Trail Association, we maintain the hiking trails at Tilsahatchee, the wildlife management area that's in East Orange, and also the Florida Trail through Seminole Ranch, wildlife management area, Charles H. Bronson, and then it continues on into Seminole County and onto their property. So we just want to bring that awareness to. We've seen a lot of people get outside. I guess the silver lining of COVID is we got a lot more people outdoors into the fresh air. And we have a lot of fresh air in Orange County that nobody knows about, so to help with the commissioner, at least they'll know where to turn.
Between all the parts of this book mentioned, including House Scott and the St. John's properties, there's over 50,000 acres out there. And you can camp to multiple days. The trails goes, you can do multi-day hikes if you choose. Anyways,
You can do multi-day backpacking trips between our properties in Orange County and Seminole. It's 42 miles of linear trail. So you can start at 528 or Yates and hike all the way to Oviedo. And there's campgrounds along the way. They're really nice campgrounds that the Forest Service has put out there. Picnic tables and rock graded and
they are primitive.
they're primitive. You're not gonna
Bring a filter or bring your water and
bring your water. So the primitive campsites, and they are going to approve them. Stephen, talked to Stephen, the force. I cannot. How do you pronounce his last name?
Steve.
Yeah, he's Hungarian, so I can't pronounce it. I don't want to butcher it, but he's put in his rec budget for next year of putting a pedestal barbecue grills now at the campsites in Bronson and Little Beacon, and their trash cans. Because as we get more people out there, hopefully that will minimize people. We want people leave no traces to things. Whatever you pack in, you pack out. So having bear-proof trash cans will help that, especially trailheads. And also, the other improvements. There's some nice campgrounds in there that nobody knows about. So if you want to get away from this city noise, it's not that far away. It's 30 minutes down the road, and you'll have well, we want to go this time of year. It's a little hot out there, but our hiking season is more in it's the winter time. From I say the end of October to about this time. It's about 6 months, the nice 6 months of the year. We hope more people will get out there, especially in Bronson. It's pretty out there. Once you go out there, we have a nice 9-mile loop. And what's great about it is at the trailheads, we have all the maps, the state forest maps at the kiosk. So it's all nicely marked and maintained by Eugene. And
if you want to learn more about these trails, I have an episode of Emily Tells All on YouTube where I actually interviewed him and some of the other colleagues that he has about some of the trails.
but thank you very much for your
Jerry.
support.
Thank you.
Any other public comments?
All right, let's move on to consideration of additions to the agenda. Do you have any additions? Okay, let's move on to, we can't approve the agenda. So, the agenda. Reports, update to the CRC. That's me. We had a meeting this week on the 20th. I'll start from the back side of it. We passed 4 more things. We have a total of 8 amendments going to the ballot this year, which might be a record. Working backwards, we passed Transportation Committee. We passed our charter amendment for that, which creates a committee with oversight of all transportation, including transit issues, and they also have ability to they will have a budget, be able to hire independent consultants. The ideal is we're trying to build up confidence with the public on this, that we have an independent committee made up of, they're appointed by the commission, but we're pretty tight on the types of people. For me, I wanted to get a person that actually rides mass transit. So there's a position on that can be filled by someone who actually uses the bus or the train and truly knows the experience and the fun of our lack of transportation. So we passed that. It actually had a very budget. The comptroller said about 700,000. Sure, because they threw in FTEs in there, the employees, which all kind of okay. That's good gas. Anyways, we got that. That was a 12-0. Great. Sustainability group, growth committee, which I sat on all the committees, but that particular committee had a ton of things. So we had a couple things going that night. So we had the fiscal sustainability, which the commissioner had pointed out that had been out in our ordinances since 2013, And so we decided, hey, we're gonna make this a little more official. We'll make up a ballot summary, a charter amendment, put it in the charter saying, you have to do this by this date, which is next year, if it's approved by the voters, and then establish a fiscal tool must be used to look at all rural properties. So it's not the current internal, but it's anything that we're looking at potentially that adds, you know, from a taxpayer's point of view, hey, does this make fiscal sense for us to do this? It's a good thing. So that passed 1202. The next one was sustainability charter committee again. This is about county lands for county protected lands, which is parks and environmental lands. So this was simply the increase from a simple majority to a super majority. So if you want to make a change of a park or one of our conservation lands, green place, outside the scope of the original, what we bought it for, then it has to go to the commission. It has to be a super majority plus one. If you want to access the property, if you want to reuse the property for like a library, because we got holes over on the west side, we have 250 acres in the library, to 20 of them, put a library on. If you know the west side, you can't buy land over there anymore. It's very difficult. I sit on the parks too, so I'm kind of aware of it. So that's a supermajority too. So it can't be easily it's a little harder. So I think that's a good one. That passed 10-2. The more controversial one was rural boundary. So what we did there, you might have heard about it, and I talked about this last time. We were preempted initially by our beloved legislature on House Bill 1420, which has not been signed by our beloved governor yet, which basically what it did was it took the rights away from the Charter Review Commission, particularly Orange County, to do anything about the rural protection. So we couldn't do anything about rural protection. So what we did was we created two versions of this. We have the full version that we had worked on for 15 meetings. We put 27 plus hours of committee time, which equates to about 120 hours of lawyer time, because we have 4 attorneys, 3 on the committee, and our counsel that we hired. So we have a lot of time investment. We have had a lot of input from municipalities, because we actually went to the commission twice. February, we got beat back by the municipalities. They were not happy with some of the definitions that we had in there. So we went back to committee, and we went for another 6 meetings. So if you look at that, the definition of what a rural boundary in Orange County is not simple. It's a very long technical paragraph. It does actually declare what the rural area is, excluding out the joint planning, the new horizons, places down by the Osceola County. We have special areas. We have Orange County is not a simple county like Seminole County is, so it took a lot more time. Then we got hit on Friday afternoon by Scott Boyd's people. He hired a law firm, and they went through and actually attacked the new version, and they found a small hole, which I don't think is a real good hole, but it was enough to say to us that, okay, we have enough opposition. Let's make a different plan as a commission, and let's try to get a majority of people in our commission to move it towards the BCC, and ask the BCC to simply put this on the ballot for the citizens, because 1420 does not restrict the BCC from doing their job. So our hope was on the commission was to pass with a very significant number of people, because it was not my count was 8 to 10, but it turned out to be much better than that. So we voted 13-1 to do that. So we pushed it to the BCC, and hopefully they're going to do something. I was not happy with what the mayor said yesterday. I spoke yesterday at the BCC along with the chair of our committee, Eric Rimmer, and I was not thrilled by the behavior of the mayor, because evidently Scott Boyd appears to be getting into based on some of the language changes. So I'm a little nervous about that. So we did pass that. So we do have 8 things. We had a great time. If you want to see some fun, go to the video because Homer Hardage had a great time. Our former commissioner of District 6. He put together the ballot white, pull out the number to figure out the order of the ballots. Because if you have either they had a choice, you have so many, it could be way they were put forward to us as to a commission, or he can't create a nice game. He put all the numbers in his hat, and Sierra Club March Hope came up and pulled them out of the hat. So it was at 11 something that night, because we went over 5 hours that night. It was kind of a fun way to end the night. We were pretty wiped by then. So anyways,
So
that's.
everything's being ordered randomly by the.
Yeah, so, yeah, it was great. I mean, she would pull out 3 and she's like, oh, this is gonna be petition initiative. And then the next one, oh, it's gonna be the fiscal committee. It's like, everyone's like, yeah. We're kind of wacky at that point. So it was a long night. We had a couple hours of testimony. It was a long night, 5 hours plus. So that will be probably the last of the long ones. Let's see what is my agenda here. So the other items, we have one more meeting that's going to come up at 6 o'clock on the 30th in the chambers. That'll be our last meeting. And hopefully it'll go smoothly. It's basically a final meeting to go over our final report, which our council is developing with the chair, and that will be the report that is forwarded to the actual supervisor election. By statute, we have to be done in the charter review by a certain date, which is June 13th. Everything has to be there by 12 o'clock on the 13th. So we had a deadline, so we wanted to get that done. And that report actually contains all those charter amendments and how we want them to appear. So that's our communication line, how we did. We don't have to, but we do supply a copy to the PCC. We should be pleased that we have such a strong charter that gives independent body. Now, this is a pitch for the CRC. It is the most democratic organization probably in the state of Florida. Because any all can come to it, issue a thought, and that would develop into a committee potentially. It's approved by things, and then it would generate a year's worth of in-depth review. Every single one of these things I talked about, including ones that we have 3 or 4 that didn't make it. They're all very deeply investigated, written. We all produced some type of charter language. We actually put 2 of the charter, which we passed as a report, but the report basically sets it up in 2028 commission to take a look at if they choose. You cannot tell a future commission what to do, but you can suggest that they do look at it. We've done our homework and we put it in. There's a wetland rule in there. We're kind of sitting back because we have Orange County has a new wetland ordinance that they just introduced. So we said, and there's also in our charter today we have something called wetland pollution. The interpretation by, and this is a little technical, the attorney along with APD interpret that to be border pollution, border protection, so wetland protection. So we're going to find out when we go to court or with the city of Orlando over this issue, because there's a ton of wetlands where they want to develop in that 11,000, and we'll see how that sets up. So in 28, if I'm back on, I'll be looking at that, and if it doesn't play out right, I will be looking to do something from that. I have already started my list for 2028 of issues, so I just maintain a list of things. So that's about it. So the next one is I'm pretty much done. Lake Picket.
So they brought so Vision 2050, the county had decided that we would do a 6-month suspension of any applications for comprehensive land use amendments or future land use map amendments. So that it wouldn't conflict with the Vision 2050. When if it gets approved by the board. So those applications will be suspended. One of the exceptions to that, though, are master plan developments like Horizons West, Innovation Way, and a couple others. Well, Lake Picket was also included in that. And I, at that moment, the last minute, just realized, I was like, well, all these master plans are being included as exceptions because they're not changing from what they are today to what Vision 2050 is. However, Lake Picket, we're changing that one because we're taking properties out of that area. So if someone, and I gave an example, if someone out of one of those properties decided they want to put an application in because they're exempted, then that will cause complications with Vision 2050. So I said that should not be included in the suspension then. And I think they were kind of confused by why I was trying to explain. And then finally, John Weiss was, one of the, he used to be in our planning. Now he's one of the deputy county administrators. He agreed with me and said that she's right, that is gonna complicate things. So I was able to then take that out of
So
one of the. Yeah, so the new maps will be in Vision 2050 if, that gets approved. But it's not also not included in the exception of being suspended, so no property in there can try to put an application while we're waiting for Vision 2050. That will.
Sure.
The next
And that's
item,
gonna come up in September, right?
September, October. And then annexation, so I did present the charter amendment proposal for annexation. So that's including voluntary annexation. So you have two types of annexations, involuntary and voluntary. Involuntary is covered by the Florida statutes where if a city wants to annex the property, they have to go through a certain procedure, which includes going on the ballot. Voluntary annexation includes, like, I have my private property and I want to go in the city kind of thing. So then that's almost, it's the simplest way to annex. And so, like all of Lake Nona, for instance, annexed into the city of Orlando through that voluntary annexation because Tavistock owned all of that. It was like, I want to go to the city because it's easier. And they were able to make that happen with just a couple of public hearings in the city. So that just causes a problem for the county, with finances, taxes, growth planning, protection of the environment, wetlands and stuff like that. So we're having this issue now with Tavistock doing it again with Sunbridge. So this annexation charter amendment will give the board, if it gets approved on the ballot, the ability to say, this is a bad idea for the county.
This is when you're.
Yeah, so then there will be in the charter a procedure that will happen, which we don't have a procedure now for voluntary annexation, where the board of county commissioners could then decide, look at this and decide whether it's good for the county or not. If they decide it's good to go, then they'll push it over to the city and the city can decide if they want to annex it or not. Also, the way I proposed it in my sample amendment, it would also put the county in a position to have an interlocal agreement with the city, so that the city and the county work together on that property. What's the best way to, grow, to plan it and develop it? Any questions on that? As I explained about. The film incentive initiative is next on the agenda. So the film incentive was an initiative I was pushing to start one here in Orange County. There used to be one in the state of Florida, and then they stopped doing it because it was mismanaged. So we have the board approved putting together a work group of professionals in the industry to be able to decide what that film incentive would look like. So that is moving forward with that work group. Next item. Any questions on that? The next item is Vision 2050 Orange Code. We have a work group working on that. So do we have any updates from anyone who's been working on it?
Yeah. Sorry. So we met on Sunday evening, the first time I had to go over exactly how we want the subcommittee to focus and make sure we're following the directions from this committee. Some of the concerns that we've gone over already are how the effects of Plan Vision 2050 across the entire county, how that issue of participation from the districts and local officials and constituents, discussing where we should leverage the remaining validity of the current club and flume. That way, we're targeting specific areas before making like kind of changes. So seeing how we do making sure it's not making sure that we are encouraging developments in fringe areas, not just targeted growth corridors. I'm sorry, that the current version does encourage developments in fringe areas and not just targeted growth corridors. The importance of addressing how we're going to run the existing conditions on planned developments under 2050. So when I mentioned like planned development was very, and how the way that Vision 2050 outlines and essentially properties going there and the city wants to expand roads, how they have to use the process. The impact that's going to have on school capacity, again, those future right of ways, the language regarding villages, the potential to require financial analysis tool for all development requests to ensure that they're actually sound. The robust transportation planning and funding, make sure they're critical to support those higher density developments, and that there is a need for effective flood management strategies. We are currently dividing up Vision 2050 into sections. We're going to analyze the going through plan, which is concerning to you guys, and we'll present those to the city to kind of see where those needs are. We should be having a two-person meeting next week at some point. Hopefully, some more things.
Anyone else want to comment?
I just wanted to let you know, I received a first response back from that group, and I'm still waiting on the other responses, but I have started to receive feedback on those questions.
From staff?
Yeah, from the Vision 2051 group.
Oh, okay. Are we asking, we don't have questions yet for staff, do we?
Guys,
Okay.
I think this is probably a good first pass. I released a rough draft of mine, and it's unfortunately with a lot of governmental procedures and reports, they kind of follow the same basic construct where there's tons and tons and tons of language in there that does the same thing, which is irrelevant because then it makes this voluminous piece of paper that people just can't get through because it's awkward. And there's quite a bit of promissory. It's like we're going to do this. We're going to form this committee. We're going to look at when. What's the cost associated with it? So I know it's difficult to get into the granularity of something as big as 150, but more and more to my with you having a little bit lots of contracts and lots of documents every year. I would say that the version of this that we're reviewing, it's a nice first draft. And I think it's being worded as business. Someone brings you your homework, their homework, and it's like, that's pretty good. But you need to go back and you need to do more. Got to show your work. You got to need a little bit more detail. So yeah, so hopefully we'll, we're not trying to be, pejorative or damning, because I wouldn't want to be. I personally would not have wanted to be there when the pages were black. So there's a lot of good work there. We don't want to discuss the good work that's been done. There's quite a few things there that we look at them and there's some circular logic patterns that, as I noted in one of my responses, is this little thing, this not even a paragraph is going to come. If this makes it in, then one day we'll all be sitting there and we'll be threatening each other with lawyers over this because it's circular. It's like if this, then that, but only if those kinds of things. So everybody's hammering through it. Once we can get that stuff consolidated, it should make for an interesting read. And hopefully it'll be something that people can chew on and form some opinions or counter opinions on what we put together. But yeah, it's where the road is. So it's that we come up with some how we gonna try to get staff to listen to us.
The easiest way I've found is to do the work for them. Like frankly, like, you know, cause like if I present something to them and I'm like, hey, I would like to do this type of thing, here's my idea. Oh, it's gonna take a whole year to research this and go through this and put the language together and blah, blah, blah. And we have all these other things going on right now. So what I do now is here, I've done the work for you. It's all there together for you. Now you could look at it and use it as is. Or you can edit it or whatever, but 99% of the work's been done for you. So at that point, the attitude's changed. Well, now it's not gonna take a whole year or whatever to get to having to write this because it's already been written. So there's no excuses at that point, yeah. And so that's how I've been successful getting a lot of things done. So I will say that I think the first step is doing what you're doing now. And then maybe have that report. And the second step is maybe taking that report stuff that you've looked at and maybe do a strike through. Underline.
I think there were some comments the other day that some of the other commissioners for the West have other
Yes.
working groups, so it'd be great if we could put a work product together and, you know, it doesn't have, nobody has to be the standard bearer, it can all get, you know, consolidated. And the more people that, you know, it's more than many makes like work, so more people that can delve into this, because they'll see things that we don't, you might see things that they don't. Depending on where you live, you might have different sensitivities to the document. You might get somebody that's living in an urban corridor is like, what's all this rural stuff? Just I think go through that time with speed reading corner. Don't even see it. Where somebody that lives there is going, well, wait, that's it's going to affect me. So maybe a little bit more sensitivity. So the more the merrier. And I think everyone's on a pretty good pace. We should be able to deliver something. And then with your assistance, you know, with your mission, see who else wants to make a step. Because ultimately, this is you know, Mr. Dennis' baby. You know, kind of ultimately, and I'm not looking to tell him that it's an ugly baby.
Well, actually,
Well,
it
but
was a former mayor's baby.
well, it's his
So
baby.
they were, so
It's
it
his
was,
baby now, right?
yeah.
So
I don't think he's as attached to it though as, it's not his baby, he doesn't have that attachment to it.
but it's still going to be a legacy for him. I mean, whether he started the initiative, whether he's around when it's finished, I'm certain that he will be around when it's finished. He's gonna,
But his, why I say that though, that he's not like, it's not his baby, is because he had made a statement that all the commissioners need to be happy with it.
right,
So it's like, it's something like it's all yours. With him, you know, like his attitude towards this, so it's all of ours, all the commissioners. Where if you look at the transportation sales tax, it's like, it's what I want, that's his baby. You know, and we're having a very hard time with the transportation sales tax getting the commissioners make what they want from it. It's his baby. For this one, it's the opposite. So it's like, he wants, like, all the commissioners need to be happy with it, he said.
but I don't think from its inception, understanding how it started and what its express purpose is, in its design, everyone can't be happy. It's one of those things that's so overarching and it's so all encompassing that it will never be something that everybody
That's the best line.
loves. No, that's
If everyone doesn't like it,
no, that's
if everyone
true.
if there's a person that likes it, it's fine.
Well, the thing is though, that the purpose of Vision 2050 though was to, so let me, So the way it started was a former mayor who saw what was happening with Lake Pickett, right? And all that fight, and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, where, right, with all these people, and 10,000 petition signatures. Like, and that's significant, we look at the amount of voters who turn out, you know, like unhappy with the way growth and management's happening in the county. So she said, staff, you need to go and find a solution where we actually have a plan for the county so that everyone knows what they're gonna get and everyone is going to be happy with how we grow. That was the purpose of Vision 2050. So it was supposed to be the type of document where everyone was happy. Like that's the vision of Vision 2050. But so
Wait, is that
is it realistic?
is that a Pollyanna approach, or again, I'm not a former mayor, not
Well, I don't
say
think
bad things, but
it's gonna be perfect, but I think it should be to a place where we're all happy with it. If there's
Some
some,
are
if,
That's all you can.
yeah,
do.
like it's
That's
not
all.
gonna, we know it's not gonna be perfect, but, and that's one thing where we're kind of like, there needs to be some guards in there too. That we can't just go ahead and make a whole county change, just like that overnight, and then we can't reverse it.
It's also a comprehensive plan, so it's going to evolve over those 25 years, so it's not like it's gonna be a static thing.
But that was the purpose though, that it should not, so the purpose of it is not to amend it.
Okay.
So that's the thing, like, this is it.
that's,
Division 3, this is it.
yeah, that's one to your point to your articulate, that's one of the fatal flaws, is
And that's,
this is gonna keep,
this will be the first document I've ever seen in my life that doesn't change.
what's gonna,
There should be a baseline.
it's gonna be cast in stone, but something that not just Orange County, but many government agencies have a problem with, is the concept of perpetuity. Tell somebody, this is it, and it's never gonna change, folks will go, well,
Go to 2050.
right, but still, that's, you know, even though it's snap your fingers and it's gonna be here, that's a long time to have a forced in status quo.
It's a flawed thought. The only thing you can ever maybe is if you got a project, that's a physical project, doing code development, building something, you can set a deadline, even that, subject to the right to. We're human beings, we're living, the only thing that doesn't change is dead being, so.
They got thyroid sinus.
Yeah, this,
Okay,
yeah, this.
So,
next.
So Justin is gonna work with District 3, cause she brought up, she has people working in her district on this too. So she wants to have a sunshine meeting where we and her can be there, and all of you could be there, and all of our people could be there, so we can all work together and, you know, so what you were just saying, like, you know, so that can work, and I think we're trying to get to the other commissioners too, see if they're interested in doing this as well. It's gonna be,
Speak now or further on your case.
yeah, so we're trying to really work together as a commission. Where it's not like just waiting for a BCC and then, you know, okay, it's your turn to speak, and then, okay, now we're just gonna decide. We're trying to have more of a working work group with the commissioners. Collaborative approach,
The
yeah.
one thing that I think, and I'm gonna make a speech to the BCC about this, the thing that they need is involved, is they're still operating in the 1850s, because this group of people hanging out on their diets trying to do something in 5 hours. The way to do is what we do in the CRC, we spin off committees, and then Congress does it too, Ways and Means Committee, those standing committees. And the BCC, if they want to evolve to a more modern standard, which, you know, Congress has been doing for years, you really need to take, okay, a committee called transportation, and that's all that committee, 3 people maybe, and they report back to the full commission what they find. And you have another one for Ways and Means, so your budgetary stuff. You have, you know, whatever is a big enough issue in the county, there should be a committee, a standing committee, about 3 people, not the full, and they're all equal. If the mayor wants to sign it, they're equal. So they elect the chair, it doesn't necessarily be the mayor. So,
We have that in our charter to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But it just isn't being used.
yeah, and that's something that I think the commissioners, it gives the legislature branch a lot more strength over the executive branch. Because now they can dive deep, explore, I mean, this stuff that I talk about, there's hundreds of hours of this stuff. So when someone says, oh, this is bullshit, and like, no, we discussed that bullshit 3 months ago, and this is what we found out. Excuse my American. But that's what happens, because when we go to full commission, we get all the commissioners, and they start thinking they're brilliant, they start hitting us. The beautiful thing is through the process of a committee, you explored everything possible in this stuff. So
By the time you get to that whole
by
board,
the time
it's
you get
like,
to the board,
you already
you've already-
debated that with.
you've already explained, this is my second CRC, and I've seen it twice now, that you really explore, when you dive deep in these issues, I mean, most of these issues that, the stuff that you're gonna see on the ballot has been explored between 10 and 17 meetings of anywhere from 5 to 8 people, and including their attorney. Plus, most of the people sitting on the commission are attorneys. I'm one of the weenies, I'm just an engineer. So most of the people are, and they're really good people, I mean, and they take it seriously, just like you guys do in 2050, they're very serious people. And hell, we debated 1 hour over one word, and that now generated a much more clear thing on the petition initiative. I didn't like one word because it was a negated word. I don't like negated words because you don't know, as an English speaker, how.
We have to get back to question.
Anyways, Vision 2050.
So,
I'll
yeah,
s-
so Justin will reach out to the commissioner's office, see when we can, when they're available. It's gonna have to be an evening, people are out of work. So we just have to try to coordinate, that time. So maybe while the time that you're already planning, maybe you just kind of bring them into that one. Continue doing what you're doing, but adding more people to it. Like, what was this, Zane, you said more? Yeah.
Okay. Workout sessions, I guess, have we kind of spoke about that? Or
Oh, no, that was that.
that was that, okay,
Yeah.
so check that one.
Any new business announcements?
Following it.
Is there anything that we have someone on, our analyst online. Let's see if she has anything she wants to say.
Nothing for me, thank you.
Thank you.
So,
All right, I did want to mention that I know, we have this going on for the Vision 2050. I just think that's gonna be a very big project coming up. Is there any other things that we were dealing with that we need to try to solve? Yeah, that'll be done, which is great. And then we could just focus on its Alright. And we do have our neighborhood, our youth advisory council, which I guess we have someone who's interested in joining that. So we used to do field trips. I know with the neighborhood advisory council, we did a couple.
Yeah.
But definitely we're looking to do some with the youth advisory council, try to get them to see some of the facilities in the county and stuff like that to just expose them to, different career opportunities probably in their future in the county. Oh boy, do we need to hire people.
I don't, Matt would be very happy in parks to show you things and, see what they have. Medical examiners are always kind of cool place to go.
Think about that, like,
Oh, my little history, my
as long
brother.
as they don't have any staffers.
My brother's roommate in college, he took care of the bodies in college, and he at Case Western, if you're familiar with the university, it's a very large medical school. So before his job, he was some rare body parts as requested from doctors. So my sister went and did a tour of the guillotines and everything else, and on how you prepare bodies for doctors. So it's very interesting. If you're going medicine, it's you get your own body.
I thought we worked on fraud.
You get your own, in nursing, you get cadavers too. It's very important that when you pass away, you think about donations.
So we create a lot of lawyers now. No doctors.
So definitely, if you haven't seen Emily Tells All, it's on YouTube. Check it out. There's a lot of information there about different agencies, nonprofits. I've interviewed. So each episode covers a different topic and is a different agency and nonprofit or organization. So you can find something that you're interested in. Also did topics that you don't know that you should know. Like there's one on like teenage date rape. There's one on cybersecurity for your kids. There's like just different topics like that.
Anything that we want to add? In my community, I institute when on the first CRC, I really fought for public input at the beginning and at the end. So if there's anything that you guys are interested in, mention it now. We can add it to next month's agenda. Just email.
Our next so I'm not hearing. I don't want anyone else. So the next meeting is going to be on June 19th. Here at this county building, we will have a Zoom for anyone who can't make it here in person. We do start off with our District 5 Youth Advisory Council at 3:30. Then we have our coffee with the commission at 5, and then our Neighborhood Advisory Council at 6:30. All here in this room. Right. June 19th. Yeah. So. We actually, I think earlier than we normally do.
Yeah.
Commissioner, one more announcement. New people in the office.
Oh, thank you, sorry. Yeah.
I'm Justin, one of Commissioner's newest aides. I have a background in working in government as an aide, so delighted to be Commissioner. And so far, just learning what District 5 looks like. It being the largest district in the county, it's awesome. It's really good. It's you know, specifically some of the stuff that I'm learning, specifically about the rural boundary. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. So I'm glad that you all, as citizens, are really fighting to make this stuff happen. And to Nico Art.
My name's Nick Whiteja. I just started a couple weeks ago working for Commissioner Bonilla. My background is a little different. I come from education. I've been a sociology professor at Valencia for 7 years now, and taught at UCF a little bit before that. And so I'm learning, always had a passion for politics, and I'm learning the ropes in the commissioner's office, and having a very interesting time going to meetings. I feel like I've stepped into a very like kind of hectic time in the district, but I hope I can do anything I can to assist you all and to assist the commissioner in getting what's best for the district.
Hey guys, my name is Ari Perez. I'm also one of the newest aides to Commissioner Bonilla. I am of the group probably the one with the least experience of any background, anything related to government. But prior to here, I was an HR recruiter, and all of my roles that I've had have all been in areas of process improvement. So super analytical. I like to what you'll normally catch me doing in all these meetings is just taking severe notes, multiple pages of notes, and I like to observe, I like to listen, and I like to plan, because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So
That sounds very familiar, actually.
yeah, yes. So what I've gotten to learn and love about Commissioner Bonilla is that we think very similar when it comes to the way that we work, and I believe that's part of the reason why I'm here. So just here to learn, to glean, and to serve in whichever way that I can.
then I am ironically the one with the most experience in the commissioner's office because my name's Ethan. I actually used to intern for Commissioner Bonilla. I was the one that was furiously typing out notes in the last T5 bag. Of course, I am a recent UCF alum. I graduated with an economics degree, and I intend to go back to college for an MBA. And of course, in the meantime, I wanted to do a little bit of public service. So why not continue my internship, but actually get paid for it? So, but jokes aside, I do love working for the commissioner, and I do love understanding how the county fully operates. So understanding all these situations while it rattles my brain to no end is very fascinating, all told. And again, it is a joy to work under the commissioner at this time. And I think I've spoken enough to get us at 7:30. But hey. So. Go Knights! Hey!
Tracy.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
We're done.
Tracy, is there anything you'd like to say before we go, or?
She's saying goodbye.
All right, bye, thank you.
Goodbye. See you.
All right, everyone.